it's singer-songwriter based for me. Being a songwriter myself, it's that kind of thing. It's the Paul Simons, you know. It's the sort of articulate song, the more maybe more deeper side of the songwriting side of things. So anything like that, and anything that's arranged sensitively around the song. So folk music in general is a great influence on what we do.
Yeah. What about you, Christy? Influences for you?
Well, like I said, I just love music in general, so I'm quite eclectic in my collection. So there's country and ballad and stuff like that.
Cool.
Myself, I mean, you got to go with the Crosby, Stills and Nash for me. But I was saying to Pia the other day that if I'm listening to my iPod, which you know, just a random selection, you'll probably I would have System of a Down, MIA, and probably Gogol Bordello. So just stuff which is just makes me happy, and it's really good to jog to and stuff like that. So it's great for down the gym. And but songwriting wise and music wise, you got your Gary Moore for the guitar solos, and your Crosby, Stills and Nash certainly for songwriting.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, I grew up on some girly music and pop music and things like that. But in terms of songwriting and influences, I would say I'm with Ben in terms of like really music, mostly from like the late '60s, early '70s, all the age of the songwriter and messages and artists that kind of talked about things that were, you know, bigger subjects. And I love Pink Floyd and Led Zeppelin and Bob Dylan and Beatles.
And is there anyone who's really influenced your music career? If there's one person you could name?
Well, I have to thank my dad for buying my first guitar and teaching me tricks of the trade and things like that.
Did he play then? Or?
Yeah, he played for a long time, not professionally or anything, but he's you know, played for a long time, you know, since the late '60s, early '70s, and so yeah, I owe my old man quite a bit for teaching me the guitar and the little tricks along the way. So yeah, but definitely.
He's on the gig circuit as well.
Yes,
is he?
Yeah.
What about you, Christy? You were dreading me asking you that. Well, I can see you were going, go to Chris, go to Chris.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I get so nervous. Sorry.
I've never seen anyone so nervous before in my life. I feel people with dread up here. I'm such a terror. Chris, there, go on, and we'll go to you.
Well, I've almost forgotten what the question was. It was something with
one person who's really influenced your music career so far.
One person. Well, it's got to be the old guitar teachers, doesn't it? Really, it comes back to the person who you always looked up to, and I still do actually, for the simple fact that I could probably never equal his skills on the guitar. But he was able. This is Steve Browning, the one that we had for a short period of time. Now I've gone back to him several times since, because he just manages to simplify but when he just plays exactly what needs to be played, and also teaches you how to do exactly that. Which, but his skill is phenomenal. It's just I don't know. He just does stuff with the guitar that you can dream about doing, but actually achieving that is something completely different. He's probably one of the top ones.
It's interesting you say you go back, so you never really stop learning.
Well,
if you get a problem and stuff, you think, oh, this isn't working out, or go.
I think no matter how good a guitarist is, I mean, you could probably, I don't know this for certain, but you'll probably find that Satriani's got someone showing them some tricks. Like, it's just a case of someone's got to look at your technique, someone's got to make sure that you're not letting stuff slip, and there's always someone who plays better than you, no matter how good you are, and that person may be a famous rock star, or that person may be. I mean, my guitar teacher in Oxford was he only spoke Spanish, but I occasionally went to him for the simple fact that he was so expensive. But it's worth it for that half hour that he would show me stuff which I just needed to put together.
Yeah.
And when you've got two things which you can kind of do, but you just don't get the concept between putting them together, they just clarify the situation. They show you techniques that, you know, make sure you're doing your exercises, show you scales that you, or a different way of doing the same scale that you've never thought of before. And you know, there's always scope for improvement on any instrument, I think.
Yeah. I suppose it's easy to get into bad habits, really.
Oh, it's very easy.
Yeah.
I've got a string of them in both my personal life and my guitar playing.
Enjoy it as well.
Yeah.
Haven't we all? Oh, dear. Peter, I forgot a question myself. Person who's influenced you the most so far?
I mean, I want to say both my parents, just because
Yeah.
they always had music around, and I come from a really sing-songy kind of, you know, let's all get around the piano and do, you know, have sing-alongs kind of family. But I guess if I had to pick one, it would be my mom, just because she's also very musical and she's sort of a stage mom in a way.
Yeah.
But you know, so it's just.
Okay. And any tips for people listening to this who are thinking of joining a band or making a band or going out on the road?
Well, you find like-minded people.
Yeah.
See if you gel as a unit, and luckily we have in such a short space of time. So that's luck most of the time. But try just go to the places where you're going to find people that want to play the same music as you. It saves a lot of time, and you can get onto things a lot quicker. And try to be yourself rather than, you know, use the influence. Like the question is influences. Use those influences, but just try and create something of your own. Yeah. That's all I can say.
Okay. Just to do it, not saying anything.
Wow. Like-minded people is very useful.
Yeah.
Beer is also very useful.
Yeah, can't be overrated. That can't be.
I'm not sure you should say that last story. Possibly the other thing which I would say is one of the greatest problems in every band is the time to practice. So, and everyone's like, well, I can't do this night and I can't. It just doesn't really matter. If you want to be in the band, you'll make the time. Yeah. So if there is something on, you'll move it. So the people that end up in the band are the people who actually want to be there. Which is, you know, aside from that, it's just a good place to practice is you know, the most essential thing in the world. Because
how often do you guys practice?
Well, recently about 3 nights a week at least.
About 3 nights a week.
Have you got a place you practice at, or
just each other's houses really? And then we've got permission to play in the basement of a pub in town, so that helps out with PA system, etc. But yeah, each other's houses. We've got it's quite a convivial little arrangement. It seems to work out. So.
But in each of those houses, we've got a room which isn't a bedroom and isn't a living room. So it's a case of you don't have all the stuff which is normally distracting. You know, like bits of computers and stuff. Or watch this on YouTube.
Exactly.
Or checking out your Facebook halfway through a practice, or you know, that kind of thing can be a great distraction. So,
I can imagine it might be.
So it's better to you know, to have a space where, you know, the lesser the amount of stuff in the room, the better, because you can just literally concentrate on music. So.
Okay. Ready for another one?
Yeah, definitely.
What are we going to do?
We're going to do a nice little sort of slow acoustic number called Deal Gone Down, written basically based on the story of Truman Capote's In Cold Blood, a notorious murder that took place in the late 50s, and he wrote a novel about it. And so it's just to try to bring out the imagery and the style of the writing.